Hi, thank you so much for being here. This is May's edition of Ammielle's Area. I'll be talking about what I created, what I learned, what I appreciated, and what I look forward to. I decided to include 2 videos and 2 articles in today's newsletter. First video is of the panel I was on for my blueprint about how to have a self-starter summer, so I just talked about the habits and mindsets to really make the most out of summer break. And the second video is my casual talk for the TK Showcase. It's just an annual event we have at the Knowledge Society with a bunch of speakers and booths. It was at the beginning of June, but I prepared for it in the month of May, so I decided to include it in this newsletter. I also have an article about plant-based musk and how synthetic biology is driving advances in sustainable flavor and fragrances. My last creation is an article about cellular agriculture for novel meats and for a new category of food. I practiced lots of self-reflection during the month of May, and I think it allowed me to come to 4 lessons that I'd like to share with you. The first being to take initiative. Initiative is the ability to evaluate and undertake things independently. So I wanted to take initiative by supporting teammates as well as doing tasks that others would avoid. The second lesson is to cultivate gratitude. I reframed some of the tasks I saw as dreadful and thought of them as something I got to do. When I cultivated gratitude for the projects and activities I work on, they became much easier to do and overall enjoyed them more. My third lesson is to listen more than you speak, and I realized you really can't learn anything when you're talking. I wanted to listen intently, to understand, to empathize, and to learn. My final lesson is to manage your expectations. I've always struggled with expectations and standards. Really, I don't want to live up to someone else's expectations of me or try to force the world to meet my expectations. So to find harmony between expectations and reality, I read about the equation that happiness equals reality minus shifting expectations. On to my appreciations and recommendations. I have been listening to Olivia Rodrigo's album Sour non-stop for the last 2 weeks. I would highly recommend it. Next, I listened to a panel with a bunch of bioengineers and synthetic biologists, and they really describe synthetic biology and its applications in layman terms, so I highly recommend watching the very rich and engaging conversation. I also listened to the audiobook of Lifespan, David Sinclair's book, and I thought it was a great intro to the field of aging. And my final recommendation is Open Tech for Good. It's a website that compiles resources and guides to help anyone who wants to make a positive impact on the world with technology. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I've been reflecting a lot about my future and my priorities with grade 10 and my year at the Knowledge Society coming to an end. It was very hard for me to figure out what I wanted and what mattered to me. For the first time in months, I wasn't living deadline to deadline or doing things that other people told me to. I found myself taking more ownership and initiative in my life and in my commitments. I think I finally reached my ideal list of priorities, which includes 4 commitments: my academic studies, EMM, iGEM, and my personal pursuits. I do my best to dedicate time to these 4 commitments every day, and it feels so relieving and refreshing to work on things I'm finally passionate about. I know that my list of priorities will likely change over the summer with my internship at the Hospital for Sick Children. For now, I will gladly focus on my academics, EMM, iGEM, and my personal activities. That's it. Thank you so much for checking in my monthly newsletter. Feel free to subscribe to my newsletter, and I look forward to seeing you next month. June is finally here. Let's make the most of it, and I hope you have a great day.